Hello everyone, welcome to Developing Success. This is Neha Agarwal and today we are talking about the GS mains answer writing. So first of all, let me tell you that answer writing is very important in UPSC preparation because in the mains examination there is 1750 marks written paper which is your cutoff oriented paper, 1750 marks. So in those 1750 marks paper, you have essay paper. In the essay paper, you are asked to write about two essays. So the two essays will be 125 marks each. Apart from that, you have four GS papers and each GS paper is around 250 marks. Okay, so around 20 questions are asked in all the GS papers, and these 1750 marks, whatever you score in these 1750 marks, your final ranking is actually dependent on these marks. So that is why answer writing is very important. So in UPSC preparation, what the students do, they just keep on reading and gaining knowledge. What they don't do is they don't write. Okay, so 90% of the aspirants, they just don't practice. They think that they will keep on reading and straight away in the mains examination they will be writing there. So that is the biggest problem. You have to have a proper practice of the answer writing. So now I tell you about some tips of the answer writing. So first of all, we start with the basics of the answer writing. So the basic of the answer writing is any answer which you are writing should be divided into three parts. So these three parts are, the first part is your introduction part, the second part is your main answer or the body part, or and the third part is your conclusion part. Okay. So if we talk about the introduction part, you can start with a quotation, or you can also start with the information which is asked in the question. For example, if the question is asked on citizenship bill, so you need to write a brief introduction about the citizenship bill. Let me tell you what the students do. They don't focus on the question asked. If the question asks the reason, you just have to write the reason in the body or the answer part. Okay, so people keep on writing what they know, what they have the knowledge about that particular topic which is asked. But remember, if the question is why, the answer is according to why. If the question is what, if the question is how, the answer should be according to what the question is asked. And in the body part, you should always have the diagram. You should always present some chart, some flow chart. Okay, for example, if you are writing point, you are writing about the functions, or you are writing about the benefits, or you are writing about the negatives. So you should just make a circle. You should write negative in middle, and you should just write the points. Okay, so that will give a brief view to the examiner. So, and in the conclusion part, you should always give some suggestions. Always give some suggestions. Always end with a quotation if you are in a position that you remember some quotation which is related to the particular topic. Or you can also mention some initiative, some government scheme. Okay, so this is the basic. The answer should be in three parts. The first is your introduction, the second is your body or the main answer, and the third is your conclusion. So this first part, the introduction part, should can also contain a historical background, can contain a small piece of information about which the topic is asked in the question. The body part, the second part, is your main part which will be checked. Okay, the main answer part. So never draw a diagram in the introduction part or the conclusion part. Always draw the diagram in the main body part. Okay, and after writing an introduction, always change the paragraph so that the examiner get the view that the introduction is end. Okay, it has ended. So after the end of the introduction, you start with the body part. In the body part, you can draw a chart, you can start with the data, you can give some points, you can also write in paragraph form. You should draw a diagram for every question asked in accordance with the geography or the environment or some international relation question. You can show the geographical perspective. Also in the kind of history questions, you can show the kingdom, where the kingdom is there. Okay, you can draw some architectural forms if you remember those. So these all are not will be coming to you in one day. You will have to practice the answer writing. You will have to write it again and again, and you will have to have handy diagrams. Okay, then only you can reproduce them into the examination. If you just go and sit in the examination, suddenly you will not remember all these points. So you will have to have a good practice before you sit in the examination. And in the last thing, in the conclusion part, you should always end with a suggestion in a summation manner. Okay, so you should give a good suggestion or a advice. You can give some data and then connect it with a suggestion. You can mention some other country or some other region which is performing that as a suggestion. You can end with a quotation. Okay, you can also add some initiative or the government scheme which has been taken in a particular way. So this is the basic. Then now I will tell you about the 10 main points of the answer writing. So the 10 main points of the answer writing is, first of all, you should know how to collect quotations. So like there are some general topics in UPSC which is asked, like there will be a question on women every year. There will be a question on unemployment or poverty related to every year as per the syllabus. There will be a question in relation to environment, like last year they asked about coral reefs and mangroves in the same question paper, TS paper 1. So there are certain topics like science and tech, environment and economy and education and poverty and women. So what you do, go to Google and you take out some quotations and write them. Okay, memorize them. Okay, go through again and again and try to write it in your answer. Whenever you practice answer writing, so try to reculcate them, try to put those examples as quotations in your answer. So whenever you will use those quotations, it will be remembered by you. Okay, and then you will have a habit to write them, and the same will be happening in the exam also, which will greatly help you. Apart from that, when you read the Hindu newspaper, the authors and the writers in the Hindu newspaper, they use some quotations written by sometimes Mahatma Gandhi or Nelson Mandela or Abraham Lincoln or John Maynard Keynes or Mother Teresa. There are many personalities. In fact, nowadays they are using quotations from Ratan Tata also. So you can also take those and write them and also use them in your answer writing so that it is remembered by you very easily. Apart from the quotation thing, you should remember one more thing. That is, whenever you lose focus in the answer, like you are writing some point, okay, and then you miss in between that क्या लिखना था मुझे याद नहीं आ रहा, what is the point, go back to the question again, read it again and then come back to the answer. What the main in the mains answer writing, what people do while practicing is they read the question and then they start writing the answer. First of all, when you read the question, give some 30 seconds, 20 seconds to frame your answer. Okay, what points you will write, how will be the introduction, some 20-30 seconds you should give. Apart from that, when you write the answer, while writing, the focus is lost. Sometimes we just write what we know and what not is asked. So what do you do? Go back to the question again, read it again. Okay, that will take another 10 seconds or 5 seconds when you read it again. So that is a trick. Okay, apart from that, you should always use diagram. Diagram is a very important tool. For example, sometimes you don't know what to write, you are lack of content, so but the diagram you have practiced so much that it is handy, and at that time you can use the diagram for the particular topic. So you can draw a diagram, they label it well. What the students do in answer writing, they will draw the diagram and they will not label it, as if the examiner knows what you are trying to tell. So it is very uncommon for the examiner. So what you do is, please label the diagram well. Okay, you should label. For example, you're drawing the world map, so label the continents, and in under the diagram, please write what you are trying to convey through this diagram. Okay, so that is how the diagram will help you. Apart from that, I told you about quotations. Apart from that, you can also go for data. Okay, very important is two things. One is the newspaper data which they report, like the employment data, the data released by UNESCO, data released by labor organization, data released by Niti Aayog. Okay, so these data you should put in your answer in the body part. Okay, and one more thing is important is economic survey. So don't read the whole economic survey, go through it once and try to take out the data from there which you think will be beneficial for your answers and jot down at one place. or there are many summaries which many institutes are coming up and many faculties do. You can easily get them in market, or you can download them, or you can read the economic survey yourself also to gain that data. So these two are very important: the government reports, the international organization reports, and the data given in the economic survey. This you should use. And one most important point I want to tell you is, when you write an answer, when you are not understanding what to give the introduction and how to end, simple tactics is start with the historical background and end with the future prospect. So the historical background should be your introduction in 4 to 5 lines, and the conclusion should be a future way forward, what in this will be happening in another 5 to 6 lines. So when you start the answer well, the examiner feels good, and the examiner is willing to read your further answer. But when the start of the answer is very boring and very contentless and very not substantial, the examiner gets a feeling that the further answer will not be good, and he reads it with a very low interest. So 50% of the game is lost there itself. So when you start an answer with a spark, with a good quotation, with a good historical background, with 3-4 lines with a punch, so then the examiner get a feeling that the further answer will be also good. So in this, what you learned is you need to make the examiner very friendly, very easy, very lucid to understand. Okay, make the examiner comfortable. So handwriting should not, many people ask me कि handwriting कैसा होना चाहिए. आपकी हैंडराइटिंग बहुत सुंदर हो ज़रूरी नहीं है, बट इट शुड बी लेजिबल, आप रीड कर सके, रीडेबल हो, इतना होना चाहिए. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, बहुत लोग पूछते हैं कि पेंसिल या पेन से डायग्राम बनाए. एनीथिंग, यूपीएससी ने मेंशन किया हुआ है, मे वर्ड मेंशन किया हुआ है कि आप पेंसिल से बना सकते हो, लेकिन आप पेन भी का भी यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ओके, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, बहुत लोग पूछते हैं कि मार्जिन्स में लिख सकते हैं कुछ, नहीं, मार्जिन में आप कुछ भी नहीं लिख सकते हो. यूपीएससी का स्पेसिमेन है कि उन्होंने दिया हुआ है कि इस तरह आंसर, आपको क्वेश्चन लिखा हुआ रहेगा ऊपर, और आपको आंसर लिखना पड़ेगा इन द स्पेसिफाइड पेज, जितना पेज दिया हुआ है उतना ही. सी, अगर क्वेश्चन 10 मार्क्स का है, मतलब वो आपसे 150 वर्ड्स डिमांड कर रहे हैं, तो आपको 2 पेजेस दिए जाएंगे लिखने के लिए. अगर क्वेश्चन 15 मार्क्स का है तो आपको 3 पेजेस लिखने के लिए दिए जाएंगे. अगर क्वेश्चन 12.5 मार्क्स का है तो वो आपको 2 पेज दे सकते हैं, 3 पेज भी दे सकते हैं. सो लाइक दैट. ओके, सो ये कुछ बेसिक्स थे. आपको और कोई भी डाउट हो मेंस आंसर राइटिंग के रिगार्डिंग, तो आप प्लीज़ मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन में पूछें. एंड मैंने एक प्रोग्राम लॉन्च किया है डेली मेंस आंसर राइटिंग का, जो कि कल से शुरू हो रहा है 1 अगस्त, एंड 1 अगस्त से वो 10 सितंबर तक चलेगा, और उसके बाद एक दोबारा प्रोग्राम भी हम शुरू करेंगे. सो अभी मैंने सोचा है कि क्योंकि आप लोग लिखते नहीं हैं, सो मेंस आंसर राइटिंग के लिए वी विल बी डूइंग all year round answer writing program. So all of you can participate and take the advantage. I will give you the detailed solution also, and we will also check your answer and give the feedback. Okay, so signing off for now, and all the very best, and try to utilize your extra time which you are getting because of this pandemic, and practice the mains answer writing. At least write 1 or 2 answers daily. आदत नहीं पड़ेगी तो फिर हम वहाँ पे लिख नहीं पाएंगे. ओके, so all the very best to all the aspirants of the UPSC, and take care. Goodbye. Thank you.